And how long does the power play last? Because, you know what I mean? They just keep doing it because it's something they learn to do that makes them feel as if they are in power and in control. Because they're in control of a situation and they desperately need Crimson Hair Salon. They had a studio over on Sansom, way over closer to me, around the corner. I guess they're over here now in the Goldman building, Goldman Properties. So I went to therapy, sliding scale nonprofit, so it was really cheap, but it was high quality. Feminist, you know, feminist based, or feminine based, however you want to look at it, no harm. There's a whole thing. And they understand women who have, you know, who are in prophylactic shock. That's a joke, because you know what a prophylactic is. That would be, let me go to the next, oh, that would be, you know, rubbers or what have you that men wear. So the joke in the feminist world is, oh my God, are you in prophylactic shock? It would just mean the patriarch went crazy and they cannot understand why women are upset by being taken over and controlled too much. So that's why you go, thank God, Philadelphia they have women's groups all over the place so that women can learn that they're sick and tired. Oh, there's a whole red group going towards the convention center way up there. Everybody's wearing red. Could be city year or what have you. But anyway, I went there for a couple of reasons. One, I had a hard time getting intrusive thoughts out of my mind, which involve like, you're never good enough, you know, you need to be like these women over here who toe the line for the male society. And there are men who know what I'm talking about. There are good men out there who are like, I know what you mean, I don't know how it's done. Like, I don't know how to be a Stepford wife. I have no idea how some women are married to men and ignore all the bad deeds going on. I don't know how it's done. That's why I'm here, walking around with an umbrella, you know, camera. In addition to having experienced what I experienced in 2011. So anyway, then there's the flip side. There are women who think they're in control, but it gets a little bit weird. If you examine or sort of hang out with people enough, you start to wonder, you know, who thinks they're in control, who actually is in control, and why control has to be a dynamic in people's relationships. I'm just like, that is not based on good stuff. Hopefully you're with someone who basically treats you as an equal and you're not doing power plays in your mind invisibly against the other person, back and forth, to show who's in charge. That is bad. That is poison. It's too exhausting. So anyway, and Sharon's back. Right. Too much prophylactic shock. So we'll name this the narrative prophylactic shock. 1 and 2. That's funny. Right, do we know him? He's a familiar face. Oh, he's of the lineage of the guy who messes up Dick Rules and Scooter. So, have you ever seen the video for Dick Rules and Scooter? And Scooter, everybody loves. He's the British guy. You know, he has these neat videos and stuff. But everybody knows So in the video, there's a big, gigantic, greasy Italian who's all muscled up and everything. And he's sort of like doing a little prophylactic shock, technically on Scooter. But it looks like he's shooting over words to Scooter so that Scooter can rap or sing or do whatever it is he does with his fast talk. In the video, this big clunky guy comes in. He's a certain type of Irish guy, I guess. Are they Irish or Polish or... Anyway, he's working himself through the crowd. But he doesn't, you know, he kind of looks awkward. He doesn't look good, you know, until he totally dismantles and tilts like a couple fembots. There's a fembot in the video who's wearing a bikini, dancing around. She's like perfect. And the whole thing is she passes out. And he comes in and messes up the whole scene. So a different type of prophylactic shock, right? So we just passed a guy who could be the offspring of the guy in that video. I don't know who the guy is, but you would recognize him as someone who's been in stuff. He's been in like movies or TV shows. Why do we recognize that guy? He's one of these people. Always smells like gas here. It always smells like gas here. I shouldn't walk over here. I'm afraid it's gonna explode. What's going on? Okay. So it always smells like natural gas at Shake Shack. So one would wonder who's plotting and planning. Could someone secretly be planning to like blow up someone's house? I grew up in a house with natural gas. My mom, sister, and I were in the house, you know, and my dad, until my dad left for the woman who left her husband, who lived up the street from us. I was only like 2 going on 3. And we had a gas stove and a gas oven. I might put this down just because it's so windy that once we get to Market it'll be. So we grew up with a gas stove, and we would know like the pilot light would go out and you can smell, it'll emit an odor should the pilot light go out. What it means is 24/7 there's a little flame always flickering underneath the range top or in the oven, like in the broiler area or what have you, wherever you turn it on. Like, so you're supposed to keep that flame on. The flame could go out because of some weird malfunction, or if someone moved in the development or on your block, it's possible that could cause like gas to go out, and then you have to relight the pilot light. But in general, there's always a pilot light on in homes with gas stoves and ovens. And then you just click it on and click, 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 click. You can hear the click, 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 and then the gas comes around the circle. Anyway, that's that. Here we are speaking of, there's Naked Lunch, Mom's Organic down there. We never had a Naked Lunch, but it is supposed to be on the healthy side. Technically, I'm surprised I never wound up getting they showed up on the late side. I was on a raw vegan green juicer journey for quite a few years, like for 6 years, 7 years, maybe 8. It was actually really hard to eat anything that was off of that diet, because in a way it's like a reprogramming. But you know, if you don't, I didn't really have money before, but I kept having money come in enough to keep buying the produce that's needed to create the green juice and so forth and so on, to try all these vegan recipes. But these days, you know, I've had to sort of go cheap. You know, I eat things that I would never have eaten during that 6-7 year time period, including like white bread. But hey, for $2.49, if I can have 10 peanut butter sandwiches, you know, peanut butter and jelly, or sometimes I'll get vegan cream cheese, tofu tea, or Violife, or was So Delicious that one? There's a couple companies, you know, and they're pretty good. And it'll do the trick per se. Anyway, do